Hello and welcome to my garden diary, May the 24th, 2012. I am a new green-fingered fellow gardener. I started planting my garden about a month ago, where I planted various roses, climbers and other shrubs. Sort of put various seeds and bulbs, some of them I'm not even sure what they actually are, but it'll certainly be a surprise when they come into bloom. So I would like to share the progress of my garden with you, and hopefully we can see all the flowers come into bloom in August. So welcome to my garden diary. Okay, so this is my garden, and what I've done is put some red bark just to give it a different effect. I've put some bamboo fence in. I just put different plants. So in this area I've put some climbers, some roses, so they're still at the very early stages. Got my weeping willow down there, and I've also just put seeds down. It's quite a variety of different flowers. So we'll see over the next couple of months. Hopefully they will all start to flower. So let's watch this space. Okay, so this is a rose bush. It's kind of a wild rose bush. Not sure what roses it's going to produce, but kind of salvaged it. It was going to just be uprooted and basically thrown away, and so I dug it up. So the roots are really, really long. You can see there. If I just kind of place it here, oh, you could get an idea of, there you go, that's how long the roots are. Roots are going all the way. I mean, so I have to dig a hole and find a hole for this, which it's gonna put it right there. So I don't know how I'm going to get those roots in, but I'm going to see if I can save this, and hopefully it's going to flourish and grow and give me some lovely roses. So once I've done that, we'll see how it develops, and hopefully you'll be able to see some nice flowers with me. Okay, so I've dug a hole there, and what I'm going to do is fill it up with some earth, but I still have a problem with these really long roots. So what I need to do is make tunnels so I can place the roots in like a tunnel, because yeah, just to sort of like dig out a little sort of dip in the ground to put these roots somewhere. So I'm not going to be able to dig like a huge hole. It's going to be, you know, that big. So let's see how I go. So what I've done in the hole is I've put this in it, retaining gel, and I just put a little bit down there because then it can retain water and act as a reservoir when it's on really dry occasions. And what I'll also do is I've got this slow release plant food, and I'm gonna like just put a little bit of that down there. Just a few little sprinkles there. Now I'm going to add the earth. So I'm just going to put in some nice new fresh soil down there. This soil is practically just sand, and it's not a very good soil in this garden. Now with this that I've put, what I'll do is I'm going to mix it as well, and also I'll sprinkle a little bit more of those gel, a little bit more of these gels, but not too much, because if you add too much then it just bubbles up on the top of the soil and the soil just becomes like a blob of jelly. So you do need to be careful that you don't put too much in. That's why I like to put it more deep down the bottom, because I've done that before and all the soil is just like jelly. And what I'm going to do is just add a few more of these as well. And you know, you don't need too much, because during watering I will be adding rose feed food when I will be watering as well. So, but this will slow release over a period of 6 months, so I just add that in. And I mean, I'm not really following any particular rule book per se, just kind of do my own thing really. I mean, you know. Right, so as you can see, I need to find a home for the roots. I kind of need to just tunnel along and get those roots in before it's sort of sit tidy in the hole. So what I've done is I've sort of just dug kind of like a little hole going all the way around here, and then I'll just sort of bury this over and hope that it takes root. Same with that, kind of. Let's see anyway. Okay, so this is the garden. So what I've created here is these bamboo baskets, but they're actually just it's just sort of like a short bamboo fence, and I've just put them in a circle like this to sort of create the sort of basket look. This is my weeping willow tree. This is my wild rose bush. And this is bark that I've put down, red bark, just to give it, you know, a different effect. I've planted all different seeds. They've brought up all these different flowers, and there'll sort of be a variety of different flowers, and one has started to bud just there, and some nice little white ones there coming up. So these are lilies that I've planted, and what I've done is planted some more lily bulbs. You can see that it's sprouting up lovely, and I've got all different colours. This one I bought this one when it was just a little bit more mature, just as it started to root from a bulb. But this was just the bulb, and it's starting to shoot up now. So I'm pretty excited to see that, and there's also another little one there that's starting to shoot up, so that's pretty cool. This one it's a Philadelphus, however you pronounce that. So that's a white shrub, and this is actually where I buried my cat Snowflake, who was a beautiful white Persian. So this particular one is more special because this is in memory of him, and that's why I've planted a white shrub, and it'll be more sort of durable than actually planting a white rose. So this particular feature has a special meaning, hence all the little sort of cat displays here. Okay, now this particular plant here is this one, Aspirea. I can never pronounce these properly, but this is what it's going to be like. So this seems to be quite a hearty plant. It's taken off there, so hopefully this is going to grow into a beautiful plant. It's going to have all those lovely pink flowers there. So yeah, that one's grown fine. This here is a rose bush. Seems to be a little slow taking off, but it is taking off. But I did have another one that kind of died off, so it's kind of, sometimes they don't always take, but this one seems to be surviving. These are also roses, a rose bush as well, which this little guy here is also taking a bit of time to come through, but you know, I planted all of them just from roots with a bit of the plant. This is another rose bush that seems to be taking off quite good. This is actually a climber. So this particular rose bush here is actually a climber, and hopefully it's going to turn out like that. It's a nice purple climbing rose, so it'll be interesting to see how that actually takes off. So I'm excited for this one. So this particular plant here, this is another shrub which is similar to the white one that I showed you earlier. So it seems to be grown okay there. So I'm excited to see how that will blossom as well. And here's another one of my lilies that is taking off pretty good there. And here I've planted some bulbs as well, and one's popping through already, so I'm excited about that. This, when I first planted this, it kind of looked like that, probably even a bit shorter, and it took off. Don't know if this is going to take off because kind of had to chop the head off it, because it wasn't, well, it was kind of hanging off, so I don't know if that's going to take as well as that one, but we will see. So this is my wild rose bush that I planted that the other night. It has like the actual roots are very, very long. They come all the way down here, so I've sort of had to make sort of a bit of a tunnel and put the roots in, because I couldn't put them straight down because they were all just sort of going flat away. So I've got roots over there, I've got the roots coming all the way along there, so I've put some fresh earth down where I've tunneled, and just trying to make it a bit more deeper. So I think this is going to be a bit more wild, but I salvaged it, pulled it out of the ground by its roots and replanted it here, so we'll see how that one takes off. all these here various seeds and just bulbs. Some of the bulbs I don't even know what they are. I just sort of planted them. I don't even know if they've come up yet, but most of these are just from throwing down some seeds. And what I've done here as well, this front garden is right in the centre of London, so it's quite a noisy garden. But I've also sprinkled seeds along here, so in between all the different bushes we've got various flowers that will be growing. I've just replanted also a part of that wild bush. There was a bit that had its own roots, so I've replanted another wild rose bush there, and I've also sprinkled some seeds down just because this area here was a bit sort of naked on its own. So hopefully I've put poppy seeds down, so I'm hoping to get some nice red poppies. So we'll kind of see how this garden grows. This is more of an older plant that I planted a few years ago. Can't remember the name of it now. So I've got these that light up at night, and they actually turn different colour. They look really, really pretty. I've got them all around the garden, all with my little ornaments here. So the guy kind of fell down. So at night, these frogs actually make noises, but I might have to change the batteries because they're not making frog noises anymore. And also I've got these which light up at night. It's actually decking lights, and they work brilliantly in the garden. My neighbours actually told me that at night I better watch an aeroplane doesn't land here because it's actually a bit like a runway. So it's quite funny. So at night it is pretty nice. It doesn't show up too well on the camera, but I'll see if I can take some. These also change colour at night. Very, very pretty at night. So yeah, what I've also done to add some security as well is I put some bamboo fencing up, which is pretty good. And then I have also put some netting here as well, so it just kind of stops kids from throwing things over, because that's what the kids do around here. They are pretty disrespectful and throw things into the garden. So yeah, that's it. So you can see it's, you know, it's on a main road here, but everybody really comes and enjoys the garden, and I think so far it's become the main attraction on the street. What can I say? Okay, now this plant is a hydrangea. I planted this 2 years ago. Yeah, it was the summer before last, and I pretty much thought this had died off when it came to the snow and ice that we had when we went through a real sort of freezing cold time. But it seems to be fighting back lovely. It seems to be a real hearty plant. So when these flowers, they're absolutely beautiful. I've also planted a whole bunch of seeds and stuff and bulbs around it, which I absolutely haven't got a clue what any of these are when they grow, so it'll all be a surprise what they will actually flower. And also here is the same plant as well, a hydrangea. Well, it's in there somewhere, but it's not quite come up as the other one, as I accidentally, I think it's down there, and it's starting to, you can see, well, here's some of the root of it down there. I think this is a new bit of it coming up as well, because I accidentally raked over it when I was doing the garden and kind of pulled all the leaves off, but I think this is the new growth of that plant. So, but they seem to be pretty hearty, you know, they do seem to sort of grow back. So, and yet again I've got all these other bulbs and stuff that I planted around it, so I have I have no idea like what this is, so it's kind of exciting, you know, to see what these will actually bring. Now, something else I have to show you, which is absolutely fantastic. You see these green things? Well, what these are actually used for is, if I pull this out, look, it's actually full of water. You can see if I shake it there. And what it's doing is it's actually feeding the rose root. So you put it down there, and it, as sort of the soil needs water, it will just suck out the water. So it's brilliant for dry spells, and especially if you're going away, it'll just feed all your plants with water. So I'm pretty impressed with them. They sell them at the pound shop, two for a pound, and they were advertising these on TV. So I pretty much got a good deal, because I'm sure they were a lot more expensive than that before they got into the pound shop. And to be honest, a lot of stuff have come from the pound shop. I mean, all these little fences I got from the pound shop. Almost all the lights for £1 each. These bamboo things, I mean, you know, are just really bendy, so you can make different shapes with them. So, you know, they were £1, but this I just put two together to make a circle like that, which is quite effective. It really sort of gives it a real professional display. And but yet they were very, very cheap. Like these bamboo fencing, for example, this fence goes from there to there. That's one layer where you can see it's overlapped, so you know, they were £1 each. Well, just to give you a better idea of the size of these bamboos, this is the bamboo. Yeah, that for £1, if you can make it stretch as long as you want, or if you want it to be taller. Now, my little trick is, because obviously how I get into my garden, that's what I've got there to sort of, you know, protect the garden. But that's the little entrance. But as a little trick, got my little bamboo ears. I've created like a gate. Right, put that there, and see that. Watch now. I put that there to hook there, and see that turns there, so that holds it in place as well. And check it out. You wouldn't even know like how to get in. You would just see that and think, oh, how on earth do you get in there? I don't know. People will always try to nick stuff. But as you can see, I've made it, I'll show you from the outside. I made it completely contained, like this. So, kind of people go past, and I've also put a fence there as well, just to make it more secure. So this is how the garden actually now looks compared to what it was a few weeks ago when I filmed it. It's a lot more greener. This side has grown a bit more now. And I've also built the fence up higher as well, just to give it more security. But it's definitely looking a bit more greener. So it's Tuesday the 22nd, 9 PM at night, and just to show you, one of these has actually started to light up, and it will change different colours, especially when it gets darker at night. It'll start to change different colours, so it kind of looks quite sort of mystical and magical. So, you know, we'll see how the garden progresses from this date, and we'll see if anything blossoms, especially my wild tree, my wild rose bush there. We'll see what happens. Check this out. See, you can see it, the change in colour. So pretty. And when it gets really dark and people are passing, it just is so nice. Especially as these are under the, let me try and get a better view of that. This is, the weeping willow tree. So to have these just change in different colours, it's just really, really pretty. I'll see if I can get some other lights, but it might get a bit too dark. These will turn colour as well. Aha! Now my decking lights are coming on. You probably can't tell that they're actually on. Maybe if I go a bit closer there, you can see it shining there. I'll try and get it. Is my tortoise that's come on lovely, because we have had a lovely sunny day today, but of course it's now turning to dusk. As my other little dragonfly, lovely colours there. Alright, so now you can see these other lights. They go all the way along down here. Change colour. Is that kind of cool? So now you can see the garden all lit up with all the spotlights. So that's why people say it kind of looks like a runway. Get it from this end. Not all of the lights have come on yet, but so I've had the neighbours say you better watch a plane doesn't land here because it looks like a runway. So these are my decking lights. As you can see, these ones, they all change colour. So it really does add quite a nice effect.